Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're sifting through some notes we have here. They're all focused on one specific dish, Moroccan couscous with vegetables.
That's right. We've got a breakdown of ingredients, some key steps laid out.
Yeah, just the details.
And our job really is to sort of extract the core technique, figure out what these notes are telling us about this specific way of making it.
Okay, sounds good. Let's unpack this then. Looking at the notes, what jumps out right away? What's the base?
Well, the first thing listed is 500 grams of medium semolina.
Medium semolina. Okay.
And that medium is probably quite specific, it affects that final texture.
Right, not too fine, not too coarse.
Exactly. And then the basics, vegetable oil and water, pretty standard starting points for preparing the actual couscous grain.
Got it. And then, wow, the vegetables, there's quite a list here.
Oh yeah, it's pretty extensive. It paints a picture of a really rich dish. We've got carrots, turnips, onion, green pepper, zucchini, tomatoes, pumpkin, beans, even a hot pepper mentioned.
And herbs too, coriander and parsley.
Right, so it's definitely not just, a sprinkle of veg. It suggests a substantial stew component.
And there's a protein option noted chicken or meat.
Yes. And crucially, the notes mention using salt, pepper, ginger, and turmeric with the protein and onion right at the start.
Ah, so building that flavor base early on. Those spices, ginger and turmeric, feel very Moroccan.
Absolutely classic. They'd infuse the meat and the initial cooking liquid. That liquid becomes important later, doesn't it?
Yeah, seems like it. Now, this is where it gets interesting, the actual process.
Yeah.
The notes talk about hot water at different times and steaming the couscous itself, but like in stages.
Yes, this multi-stage steaming, that's really the heart of traditional couscous making, I think. It's what these notes highlight. You start with the dry semolina, maybe coat it lightly with that oil mentioned.
Wow.
Then you add water bit by bit. The notes specifically say steamed couscous done after 15 minutes.
Right.
So that's the first steam. Then it seems you take it out, break it up, add more water, some salt this time.
And steam it again. Steamed couscous too.
Yeah.
After another 10 minutes.
Exactly. That second steaming is key. It gets the grains perfectly cooked, separate, fluffy.
Prevents it from becoming like a solid block.
Precisely. You avoid that dense, clumpy texture. It's all about getting it light and airy.
Okay. And tied into that timing is the vegetable timing. It's not just add vegetables. The notes mention carrots and turnips seem to go in earlier, but pumpkin and zucchini are added later, around that 10-minute mark of the second couscous steam. Something like that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It points to cooking times. Carrots and turnips are harder. They need more time simmering in that flavorful broth to get tender.
Right.
Whereas pumpkin and zucchini, they cook much faster if you put them in too early.
Mush.
Total mush. So adding them later keeps their shape, their texture. It's a really practical detail that makes a big difference.
We also see thyme and olive oil popping up later, towards a 20-minute point mentioned.
Yeah, those sound like finishing touches, added near the end, maybe stirred into the sauce or drizzled over everything just before serving.
To keep their flavors fresh.
Exactly. The thyme adds that kernel note. Olive oil gives richness.
Okay, so zooming out, these notes, they're basically a blueprint. A specific method for orchestrating everything, the protein, the veg stew, the couscous itself, with careful timing and stages.
It really underscores how traditional recipes often work. It's not just throwing things together. There's a sequence, a logic built up over time to get the textures and flavors just right.
Yeah, a deliberate process, not just one pot, one time.
Each step ensures each component is cooked perfectly and contributes the way it should to the final dish.
It's quite sophisticated when you break it down like that.
It is, and it brings up an interesting point for you to think about looking at these notes. We talked about adding softer vegetables like pumpkin and zucchini later, mainly for texture, to stop them overcooking.
Yeah.
But thinking about that sequence, could there be other reasons why certain vegetables go in at specific times in a dish like this? Beyond just tenderness.
Yeah. Could it relate to how their flavors develop or release into the broth? Or maybe even something like maintaining their color, just something to mull over as you consider the details here.